Didn't trigger my alert. Would have been nice. So now it's bounced away. 1 hour. We've had a strong push down. Waiting for a pullback, so I'm waiting for a bearish close, and then I'll use 2 candle theory to get into that trade to target the low, and then further targets all the way down to the end of this zone here. That'd be the setup for odd USD. How did I get all these? How did I start there? Let's go back to OddCAD. OddCAD's in the range, waiting for it to do something to get one of these 2 levels here. I really have nothing right here. Odd CHF. Pulled back out of nowhere, didn't make it all the way up here. Have a zone down here, but we've already had our first bounce. So not too comfortable with that. Possible come down here, retest that area before bouncing back up. Targets up there. JPY moving sideways as well. We have a high area here and here, and these lower areas. It's possible. Could look to set this area up here, and then this one down here as areas to look at just as prices bounce there. So see what we get. Odd NZD, getting ready to push up in the zone. The zone is only valid for that. So pale technicality, I only would have wanted it after that. So after it broke, it should have come up, retested, and then fell away. Now that we're here, we are getting some rejection, but there's really nothing to it. I'm going to stick with that one up there and get rid of this guy. Yes, we're going to get rid of him because there's too much right here. This would be the zone. I might stick with something like that. We'll see. If that's the case, I want it to come up a little bit higher before taking the sell off of it. Probably the right there is the first because you have this resistance here and then this support in that same area. So that would probably be first target, and then let the rest run to somewhere down here. Or yeah, somewhere down there. So looking at that, odd USD. We're just looking at that. CAD CHF. CAD CHF has been going down, waiting for it to pull back, give a nice break and retest. CAD JPY is been going sideways, which is okay because we have a low here and a high here. I'm waiting for this candle to close because if it closes, so let's say it closes where it's at right now, for whatever reason, close where it's at right now, drop down on the 15-minute, expecting this candle once it's done, which will be, well, this one just opened, didn't it? That one just opened on the 1 o'clock, so it's only been going for an hour. So waiting for that candle to close, depending on where it closes. If it closes somewhere, let's say here, we're ready to go. We'd have our 50% markup over the previous candle, which currently looks like it would be lining up with something like that. And then we just wait for price to either take off, come back and respect this area here before moving forward, or just directly come back and do that exact same thing, one or the other. But either way, this would be the area that we'd be expecting. Stops would be below the low of the candle, which is actually this one right here. Actually, it might be this one because the candle starts there. We can look on the 4-hour and target it for sure. So the low of that candle currently is right there. Go back to the 15-minute. There you go. So if price is going to go off of this candle, it will not violate, should not violate that area right there. Not necessarily will not, should not violate. Because this is what we see time and time again when you have a bearish bullish candle. Even the next candle didn't violate it. Next candle didn't violate it. Sure. Let's go with this one. Bullish candle, close, 50% wick retracement, and then it goes up and continues there. So it never violates this area down here. It can come close. It can do more of a retracement in it, but generally what we want to see is 50% and then it continue on from there. And then, yeah, that's basically what we're looking to try to get into here. Of course, we will be trying to target just about halfway in there. So if you're able to get into a position where you're managing a trade, you're getting in somewhere, let's say you get a candle close here, stops are below that area right there, and then you're just targeting, go for your 1-to-1 to begin with, and then let stuff play out. That's basically what you're looking at. And so that's what it'll be. It's not that impossible. So looking for that. I think currently I gotta wait for that 4-hour candle to close. So I'm not even worried anyway, because that won't be until 5, which once again, okay, I actually won't be taking that because it'll close at 5. That's one of the reasons why I've started looking down on the 1-hour time frame, just because a lot of things tend to set up too as well on the 1-hour, and you can take them and they happen more frequently, so that like right now I'd be waiting till 5, spreads widen, it gets ugly, and that just stinks. What would I do here? It's the same thing. We would, candle's already closed, so we actually can mark this up the way it should be. To close that candle, and then 50% of that candle. And I'm going to zoom in really, really, really small. There we go. So 50% of that candle, and then I'm going to drop down to the 1 minute and then clean up this candle here. It's like what makes sense down here. That 50% makes sense as far as the break and retest of that level right there, with the final that you could have a deep pullback all the way here to be like a triple bottom. Who cares? Go back out to the 1-hour. The wick is down there. So price should not violate this right here. So go back to the 1 minute. That's our candle right there. And so this would be our setup. Our setup would be, where price is already closed, we're coming down. It could be creating the wick now. So there is a possibility, if you can get a price to pull back up here and then pull back into this area right here, you could be looking for just a straight entry after that with stops below here, because now the idea being, if it creates this move here, you've continued this small little trend that's right here, with the high likelihood that because of the 1-hour, price is going to continue moving forward, moving up, that this is the 1-hour wick and it should respect that and just move forward from here if it's going to do that. So that's a possibility. The other possibility that you have is for price to come down into here, play around for a little while, give you some wick rejections, some engulfing candles before turning around and going. If that's the case, once you have the wick entry or the wick creation there, then the idea being this would be generally a break of the high there, which actually puts us roughly in about the same area. But now we have a stop loss that's a little bit bigger. And then the final option is if price were to come all the way down here and show some rejection, then instead you can take it on the flip of the candle itself. So since prices come down a little bit further, you can come on the entry of the candle where it would actually flip. So those are your 3 potential options of getting in, depending on what price tends to show us. And then basically, since this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'd be waiting on. If price doesn't do any of this, well, then I pass up on the trade. So that's CAD JBY. We were watching that one. Sure, for fun. Why not? And so we'll see how that plays out. CHF JPY on the 4-hour. It did not do either one of these things in regards to coming up here and retesting. I drew this back in the 10th last Tuesday, and we have not had any sort of reaction. I was expecting price to shoot up here and then reject, but instead we got pullbacks along this area. So as it was channeling up in this area, my plan would have changed. My plan did change because my alert went off and I didn't look at a trade here. Why? Because of the way that it came up into this area. I tend to look for stuff like this, where it's a quick pump into the area and then rejection, and then I want the quick pulse out. When you start getting into pushes up into the area that are steadily just trailing up, those tend to break a little bit more than survive and bounce off. You can see that in areas like this where it bounced off, came back in, bounced a little less, came back in, bounced even less, tried to really get up and go, but it didn't, and then finally just failed back down, broke back down. So those are the those are just the things that you look at over and over again, and you see and you go, okay, yeah, even though this is a clear resistance level, it was bounced here very nicely in the past. The way that price came up in here is different than the way that it did here. And so with that being said, let's leave it alone. Euro AUD. I was in this trade earlier, taking off just, it had bounced up. I was looking at something like, okay, to break and retest, you had wick rejections and a strong bearish or bullish candle. And then I was expecting price to go up, and it didn't. It slowly turned around on me. I ended up closing out early, and then price came down here, and I wrote this. It was like, will price bounce here from this little uptrend that it's created? And so that's basically where I am at right now, waiting for this to see if what it's going to do. What I'd like to see is why I have this alert right here is I'd like to see price come all the way up here to this alert area, come back down, test in and around this level, and then take another trade up to the top. And so that would be the plan for what I'm looking for, I don't know, the upcoming rest of this week and next week. Price action changes, then my plan will change. But currently, if price goes the way that it's going, that's basically what I'll be looking at. Euro CAD has been bouncing from this area, and I have this high here. I would, that is nice. We've bounced here before. It's been respected in the past. It's like, okay, cool. That's clean. If it comes into here, depending on how it comes in here, will change how I decide to play it out. But this is currently what I have as the setup. Euro CHF should have been in this trade. This was nice. So I had already, price had broken through, was channeling its way up. I was already looking on the 15 minutes, had this trend line marked up as the alert was a close below on the 15-minute time frame. And so I had already hit here. It looks like 8:15. It closed. After it closed, I would have waited for that pullback. So once price came down here and gave me this ray that is not valid because that's useless, pulled back this way, I would have looked somewhere around here before getting in. It would have pushed down. I still would have been targeting something much further. It would have come back to basically break even before finally rolling over. And it's definitely gone a good distance away, retesting that bottom level there. So that would have been my first target. My second target would be all the way down to the bottom of the thing. So should have been in this trade 8:30. I don't remember what I was doing. I think I was eating dinner, but that was about it. It happens. Euro GBP. Euro GBP has been trailing up. We are in a nice area here. If we look in the past, we have a resistance that was formed and then respected. The respect of that area had a bunch of wicks afterwards. We have another resistance that was formed, and now we are respecting that again. So is it possible to get into a trade that would take you up a little bit higher? Yeah, that's very possible. I think I will start looking at that. I had my bullish candle there, another bullish, or no, we don't know what this one's going to be. We got another 4 hours before this one happens. And we really have nothing. I have no real feeling about the way that these candles have been closing. I would have done the same thing down here. I'd like to do here probably is you have a candle closure that's bigger body than this one, so engulfing just in regards to the body size, not necessarily the wick, although the wick did overtake that previous wick. So you have on the lower time frame a high that was broken, as well as a close that was closed higher than the previous one. So it's like that shows signs that on the lower time frame, price is channeling up, is trending up. Here, we don't have that. We had a strong push down, bounce away, strong push down, bounce up. It came all the way up, broke that previous high, but then no, failed all the way back down here before closing almost at the same place it opened. Now our next candle is hovering here and not really doing anything. So this is where patience may pay off by waiting to see how this candle closes, which unfortunately will put me at 5. We can go down to the 1. Waiting to see how that candle closes will probably bring me a better yield. And actually, if we close here on the 1 higher, if we close here higher than this candle here, I'll start looking. So that should happen. If it's going to happen, we have 46 minutes here. This candle could turn around and flip and close up here. That next candle, I could expect that if we're going to keep going, we'll go up from here. And so that'll be the plan on that one. Did that alert get set? It did. And so, yeah, because I wouldn't want to wait for the 4-hour candle to close. That would put me at 5. Everything else goes, spreads go up, market goes down as far as volatility and all that other stuff. And I don't know. We'll see. Euro GBP. That looks pretty decent. Have a plan. See how it plays out. Much better. This price action is much better than this price action. So Euro GBP, JPY? No, Euro JPY. Was looking for a sell out of that on the 15 minutes. That never actually happened. That was a good engulfing candle. It never actually got close enough into the zone to actually mark it out. So that's done. We've had a bounce off of here. Now it's where it's going to go. Well, the only place we really have is back up there again for another, not a possible bounce. Reason being is you have this channeling up to that area. You got a nice bounce away from here. If this is the second bounce, which technically it is, it didn't really bounce, but the double top, whatever you want to call it on the lower time frame, double top made it bounce. And if it comes back up from this area, then it's a less bounce than this. And so we're just getting weaker and weaker as we bounce up into this area. Eventually, this usually will break out. And so that's basically what we'll wait for. So I will get rid of that alert. I would like to see this trail down and start bringing some structure this way, because then I can trail it down all the way to down here if it's nice and clean. And then Euro NZD. Euro NZD, I was already in this trade. Euro NZD trade for 41. This is one that I let go. I'll have to track all these. One I closed at 90%, the other one I let go, and then I trailed my stop loss, and I know it came back and hit me out. So I didn't actually make it to the full take profit, but I am waiting currently on the 1 hour because price is broken above this level. It's coming back to retest. I would like to see it come into this level and reject and fall away. So we'll see how that goes. Euro USD on the 4 hour. We bounce off this level here, coming down. Bearish candles. I'm still expecting price to come all the way down here after this double top on this little area here, which I wouldn't have traded, not for the double top itself, but just the idea that it broken up here, rejected once, came back and rejected again, and got a strong bearish candle. I could have, should have, would have used this 9 a.m. candle if I was actually thinking about it and participating in the markets around that time. Could have used this candle here, 4 candle here. I have the open of the close. We have that right there, and then we go down to 15 minutes. So we have a nice area here. We have the open of the candle, the previous close. These, and if this is the second time we've seen it, and I really need to look at it, it's like these engulfing candles straight off the rip aren't necessarily a bad thing to go ahead and take. You can take a much smaller position size and just go for it. Go for like a 1-to-1, because the more I see them, the more it looks like those would work out. I really got to track that though. Got to start keeping up with that. because that would be nice. That would be easy. You're trusting, basing off the previous rejection, that this next candle is also going to be a bearish candle. And then you also get a strong bearish signal sign basically on the lower time frame that the bears are in control, and you just let it go. And so you might have to start looking at taking those, might, decrease risk in order to start taking them and tracking them and seeing how valid they are for me. But that is one that seems to be doing pretty well. I've seen it repeatedly. It works best off of rejection areas on that second candle that's coming off that rejection area. But I'll let the data tell me, basically. So now we've had that. The idea being here, we're waiting for a pullback and then another set of bearish candles that try to come on down here, because that's where I want price to go, because this is where my alert's at. GBP AUD. This will be one that I took an L on. That was a big L. Big loss. Euro NZD. Oh, it wasn't that big. $40. My Euro NZD, that was the biggest one. Oh, that was terrible. Lesson learned on that one. It's all right. What do we have in Discord? Somebody said something? Oh, yep. So maybe Jay will hop on. So didn't get my alert to go off here. Price came in here, bounced in the area, taken off. All right, that's fine. Waiting for price. Maybe it'll come up into this area here. I am starting to get a little, we can call it claustrophobic, as prices just bounce in between these two areas, and it's not a lot of room. It is enough room for two candle theory. As you can see, you get a bearish candle, next bearish candle, bearish candle, next bearish candle, bullish candle, next bullish candle, bullish candle. Not necessarily next bullish candle, but if depending on where your stop was at, how you actually got into this one, you could still end up going. Bullish candle, bearish candle, little bearish candles, but they didn't actually go that way. It actually broke above. So you might have lost that one. So based upon this, if you use this as your start, and then this as another zone of getting into trades with, then you would end up see all this price action come up. Okay, you rejected this area. Good. So that means this area is probably stronger than you thought. This happens. Okay, I'm not so sure. Price breaks through, comes up here. You get some wick rejections here. Who knows? Maybe your zone, you might have included that as it came here. I don't know. I think I'd be hard pressed to say that would be a valid sell area. It is a nice rejection, but I'm not so sure. But the next one that comes up in there, you could definitely have taken that one all the way down. Now that you've seen this area here, this one might have been a strong, okay, you had a strong push in, strong bullish out. There's still enough room to get up there. Maybe, you never know. Thank you. And then price comes back up in here again. Really nothing in the zone area, but this one actually bounces away from the zone. And then you get another one there. And then bullish candle here, same thing, rinse and repeat until it finally breaks through and you're like, okay, cool. Now we just wait for this next one. And that was basically how this played out. It's like, okay, cool. We've had a zone here that was resistance, expecting it to bounce to support. Bounces to support, got into a second trade, moved my stops to break even. And then this second trade just rolled over. And I don't remember where I stopped. I actually have to look at my trading terminal to figure this out. And annotate it on here before I take a screenshot and close it out completely. Oh, no, I already did. Okay. But I didn't actually annotate where I had, because I had my stops moved closer. $37, maybe not that much closer. So there was that. Price came back down here again, but didn't actually dive in deep enough to enter that one. And so waiting here for price to come in here and give a good entry, and we'll see where that goes. GP CAD. Was tracking this one, had my alert go off down here, and then was looking to take trades on the two candle theory again. And this one would still be in there, currently going, trailing all the way up here to this top here, waiting for price to get in here. We will see. GPCHF is it's a mess. What's going on, GPCHF? So we are out here in nowhere land. So I got nothing here. I was expecting price to pull up a little bit higher and retest before falling away, but it didn't. It just fell away. So that's all right. GJ bouncing off levels. We'll see. GN. Nice break and retest. Continuing up. I'm expecting price to come all the way up here. We do have a smaller zone down here that price could bounce off of. We look at that on the 1 hour. It's like there's that. So it's like we could have that. Price could give a good little bounce. So yeah. We really need to get into these more trades. These trades are great. GAU. I don't know what's going on with GU. It's just going sideways for quite some time. I really have nothing. And we got that right there. That's actually pretty good. We can leave that there. Yeah, we can leave that there. And then the zone down here, which has been something in the past, but I'm actually going to short up a little bit, move it up here. We'll see. That one gets iffy. NZD CAD, is that the one one of the trades? Waiting for price to come in here and then get a rejection. NZD JPY. Waiting for price to come down in this area here. NZD USD, price already broke through this level here. I was waiting for that to come on back. Price already bounced out of this area, so I wasn't 100% sure, but if I got some rejection in here, then I would have been okay. Going down on the 1 hour, since it's broken this level, this is another area that if price can push up into this area, I would look to take something off of that. Possibly to the downside. Where's the downside? I don't know. Someplace. Just to pop away from the level. That'll work. USD CAD. Price has been bouncing off this level here. I'm expecting another possible little bounce here before trailing back up and then hopefully breaking. That's why I got an alert above this one. And then we'll look to get in a trade. Other than that, I'm leaving that one alone. USD CHF. USD CHF. I had a little zone here. And price came in and bounced up a little bit higher than that and bounced away. So that was nice. And then I'm just waiting for price to come into this area here. It's not really much though. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Get rid of that guy. Come here though. What do we got? If price can come further down and then come up, I would look for that. And USD JPY. Not sure what this one's going to do. Might go up because we've been hitting this area for quite some time. It probably is going to go up. Probably going to continue trailing up this way and then finally shoot it and then come down and do whatever it wants to do. So that'll probably be what that does. And then we'll just wait. And view. My bad. What's that? You permission to view the message history of sessions live. Why not? Hmm. Good day. Right. That's interesting. Oh, that would make sense on why it was so quiet. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Gotcha. Hey, Ovi. Did I say your name right? I hope I did. Anything in particular you're looking at today? You take any trades today? Let me get a drink. Okay. The only one I'm currently watching is like CAD JPY. I am down here looking at this little zone right here on the 1 hour, waiting for basically price to push into the zone here. So I'm using my two candle theory not necessarily mine, but I'm going to call it mine. My two candle theory in regards to get into this trade here. Okay, USD CAD. Let me see if I can figure out what you're doing. You said on the start of this week. So that would be Monday. Huh? Hopefully you took buys from the way the market went. Hopefully you took buys. I wouldn't have seen that coming, maybe. It would be, I think I'd be hard pressed to have played that one. Yeah, I would have been hard pressed to have come in here and used that I mean, it is nice. It's clear. It's probably cleaner on the 1 hour. Yeah, you could come in here and take that as a nice zone of resistance and support, break and retest. Nice. Nice. I don't know what time frames you trade. If you're on the higher time frame or the lower time frame. Lower to me is anything you mark up less than an hour. So if you're marking up on the 30 minutes or the 15 minutes, then you're trading lower time frame for me. If you're trading anything after that, then 4-hour zone, 15-minute entry. Okay, cool. You did a 4-hour zone off of this guy here, somewhere in here. So 4-minute zone, 15-minute entry down in that area. Down here. I mean, it looks nice. Whether you want to call that a double bottom, which I mean, it fits my rules for a double bottom, for sure. Followed by an engulfing candle. Oh, that's pretty. And then if you got in after that engulfing candle, you had almost no drawdown, depending on where you put your stops. I don't know if you had really tight stops, then yeah, you're 1-to-1 pretty much. Just you went sideways for a little while, then skyrocketed. But if you had wider stops, you had to play with some up and down movement. But eventually, you got to your target. So good job. Good job. If this was one that you felt comfortable with and you're like, yeah, this was it. I love this right here. Then make sure you keep track of that. Print it out someplace so you can see, have it visually in front of you so you can remind yourself exactly what you're looking for. So during those times that you see a trade, you see something happening and setting up, but you don't quite feel comfortable, you can look back to what you've seen and what you like, and you could reference that to help you make your trading decision. Cool.
Hey Robert, I just joined. Sorry for being late.
No, you're good. Hey, how you doing?
I've been working out, so I couldn't make it earlier, but
That's all right. Working out's good. Yeah, I didn't realize that this channel was not set up properly.
yeah, I was looking to that too. You said you sent the link, but
Yeah,
basically there was nothing in there, so yeah, never mind.
yeah, yeah. So I'll have to fix that. I might have to get. I'll see if somebody else can validate it for me whenever I get it fixed to see because that's where I wanted to put it. That way, it's not just hovering around in every different channel. It's just in one channel. As well as like I was like, okay, this is what I'm planning to be on.
Oh,
So
this is cool, man. Like
yeah.
the
So
calendar and
I
yeah,
didn't,
yeah,
but you're telling me I did this for nothing because nobody can see it. That's
yeah.
what's the great
But
thing. Like,
but now they can, right? It's fixed
no, I
now, right?
haven't fixed it yet. I don't think I fixed
Oh,
it.
no, no, I'm looking at it right now. It's fixed. I can see it.
Are you? Okay. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did.
Me neither, but never mind. It's working now.
Yeah. Okay.
If
Well, I'll leave
if
it
it
alone.
works, don't touch it.
Exactly. I will definitely leave it alone. So, um, yeah. So we're just going over Ovi's trade. Ovi was in he took a USD CAD earlier in the week and did a 1-2 on that one. That's a beautiful, beautiful
Oh,
trade.
what's the date of that trade? Let me just see if I can see what. Oh, I see it.
Yeah, Monday the 16th ish. So somewhere around there.
Yeah, I see the zone. It's. I mean, it's all right, but I wouldn't
All
I wouldn't see it. Bye bye.
right. Bye.